All right, Adam Hall, you're off season now. How's it going? Your first year now as the head coach of Utah Valley.
I'm really blessed, to be honest. It's been 2.5 months of a lot of up and down, and even like you expect some things that are coming your way that I guess you expect the unexpected, and just kind of rolling with the punches with some different things. But to be honest, there's a lot of support in Utah, and there's a lot of people, say, coming out of the woodwork. I think they're just reviving a lot of energy and passion for Utah wrestling, and I'm feeling that and seeing it through just club coaches and high school coaches wanting to support the program, and alums and donors wanting to help the program out and push it forward. So first few months have been great, to be honest.
Obviously, it's your kind of neck of the woods, where you're from, but you've been on the East Coast for a long time. What was it, besides just kind of being back in your area, that drew you to Utah Valley?
I think the potential. I think Izzy hit it on the head. It's just like it was a sleeping giant. I think you look around the country at the number of guys that are on rosters from like all over the country that are from Utah, and some talent out there. And I think that was a major complaint of people in the state, is just trying to keep the talent home. And now I think that's a reality, because a lot of the best kids in the state, Utah Valley wasn't they openly told me it wasn't an option for them, and now it is. And so I think for me, it's not only Utah, but I'm originally from Idaho, so keeping a lot of those guys home. And you look at the 19 guys that are coming in this year, at least half of them are Idaho or Utah.
Wow.
In fact, over half. And so, yeah, just trying to build it and build a wall around Utah and Idaho, but that's why I'm here, because California, Washington, I've got clinics all over the West, and just trying to spread the name and spread the brand.
You got one big guy back into the state this offseason, the transfer portal, Bear Claw.
Yeah.
How happy are you to have him back in your state, and what do you expect out of him this year?
Yeah, it was a huge injection right away. I think people thought it was maybe a pipe dream, like they knew he was out there, and then when the portal knew it was up, maybe an uphill battle. But in all honesty, I think he wanted to be a little bit closer to home, and just be a big fish in a small pond. And he's having a lot of time being poured into him, and a lot of great people surrounding him. And he's been just an injection of life and energy in our room, and it's just elevated everything. I mean, our strength coach has said it, like when guys show up, he's like, these guys show up to lift, and there's just so much more energy. There's just so much more competition. It's like they're fighting for something, and I want that, because we've created like just some healthy competition within the team. Like we've been we do it week to week. We try to have like I found these old trophies in our storage shed, and they were like from a team camp or whatever years ago. It's like first, second place, and we did thumb wars one week. We did a hang one week, so it was just like creating this competition, and the top two guys get to put these trophies like on their lockers for the week. I just want that. I want like some healthy competition, because I said at a certain point the best wrestlers are not going to be the best at one of these other things, and somebody else is going to shine. It's going to eat at them a little bit, and but it's been good. Just having him back in the room, back in Utah, has been, like I said, an injection of life.
Yeah, that's awesome.
To further answer your question, because in terms of expectations, he knows he's good enough to win it. I mean, he's trained with two of the best guys in the country at 57 and 65, and was right there with him, and he knows that he can win it. And that's, like I was kind of mentioning in there to the group, it's for him, it's an expectation. It's not hoping he can win a national title. He expects it.
Mm-hmm. You were assistant under Pat Papalizio for almost a decade.
Yeah.
What was your biggest kind of takeaway, or the main thing you learned from him that you will now apply as you start your journey as a head coach?
Yeah, I think doing things in a business-like manner. He ran NC State's team like it was a business, as it should, and a lot of best teams in the country should be run like a business. And I told our guys that in the beginning when I met with them. I said, in terms of like expectations and accountability, this is where I have it. I don't know where it was before, but I imagine it's being elevated. And so that's the one thing, is just the accountability piece. Pat was very good at just like holding people accountable and just constantly on them, so that they're he doesn't want them to look back and have regrets. And I carry that a lot, because I think every coach, year to year, you're like, dang, I should have done that a little bit differently with this person. And you try to take those examples and just not have them reoccur, obviously. And So I think over the 9 years that I was at NC State, just learning how to run a team like a business, but also have some fun with it, you know. And so kind of just my own little flair, and I'm taking some things away obviously from NC State because it's a strongly run program, but I think the biggest thing that I took away was just how to run a business.
You're taking over a program in kind of a unique, maybe unprecedented time with the settlement that's coming out that involves all of NCAA athletics, not just wrestling, but a lot of people think it could potentially really affect wrestling. What were your thoughts when you kind of heard, hey, you know, athletes are going to be paid and budgets are changing for administration? How will this affect wrestling, do you think?
I think you're already starting to see it. I mean, I was sending the article to like some alums, some different people with what's going on at Illinois, and like when that came out originally, I was like, this is incredible for their program and it's a huge step forward. And now it seems like it's going to be just a roadblock and another thing that their staff and their donors, their administration is going to have to work through, because the reality is all these Power 4 conference schools, that $20 million or whatever that they're having to figure out is a huge obstacle. And so I don't know whether it's budget constraints, you're cutting some program. I don't know what it's going to look like. And I think the big thing that I'm on the outside looking in as a per se mid-major school, even though we wrestle in the Big 12. I'm looking at it like there's probably a lot of other mid-major schools that they're not going to have the funding to do that anyway. So it's the reality isn't necessarily that for them. It's hey, at any given moment, regardless of where you're at, your program could be in jeopardy. So I've worked really hard to surround the program with a lot of high-level people that want to invest in the program, because my goal is to endow the program so that at any given moment it's just like we can operate on our own if we needed to. You know, and it's a hard thing to do, but you're having to get out there and sell a vision and sell everything that you're going to be doing to these people that may not know what wrestling is, and to be honest, like during my interview, that was one of the things that the president of the university asked me, is like, how are you going to sell wrestling to people, not wrestling people, to people? And like, to me, it's easy. You know, I can give you some of the hardest working people that I know that are gonna be great employees for you. You know, and so I think there's some things that wrestling can sell, and regardless of where you're at, and I think that we're at a crucial time of doing that, because you look at what was it, 2016 or whatever, the Olympics the wrestling was going to be dropped in the Olympics, and it like woke everybody up. I think this is a wake-up call, and it's like, well, that you can't sit here and think like that's not going to affect me because that's going to affect football and basketball first. No, that it will affect them, but it trickles down to you in some way, and so you have to prepare for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's all great. Last question for you. We're here at a high school camp. We've been asking all the other coaches and high schoolers too, and what is the main thing, the number one thing you look for in a recruit or a high schooler when you're trying to recruit him?
Tough. Been in the game enough now that it's like talent and toughness takes you to the highest level. Talent takes you so far, toughness will take you even further than that talent. So it has to be a combination. Obviously, you're looking for the best people that you possibly can that fit your program, right? But at the end of the day, like, toughness wins out. Like, you go to the national tournament and you're watching, you go to the Worlds and like you're just battling. You know what I mean? It's just like at some point you're going to be up against some adversity. You're not feeling great, and even the guys that feel great and have 5 perfect matches, there's something along the lines of during the year that it wasn't perfect, that they're having to battle something, right? And so like, being able to manage adversity and just be mentally tough is such a big aspect that I look for, because I can teach you to wrestle. Our staff can teach you to wrestle. It's hard to teach and coach you through these situations where at the end of the day, my coach said, buddy, when you walk out there, I'm a glorified cheerleader. You know what I mean? There's only certain things I can do to prepare you to get there, then it's still on you to go get it, you know? So honestly, number one is toughness.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to add, shout out, whatever, before we get out of here?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to our president, Astrid Tumenez, and our AD, Jared Sumption, and our sports supervisor as well, Clint Berge. They've been just a huge support system. Our president shows up to every single match, pom-poms,
yeah.
Front row. Last year I heard a story of her like telling Troy Nickerson to like, sit down, coach. He's like, who the heck is that? Somebody's like, that's our president. He's like, dang, all right, you know. And so, yeah, you know. And then my right-hand guy, Sean Warren, he's helped me out a ton. He's just a guy around the program that he started the mentorship program in our school, and he's connected over 20 different alums, friends of wrestling, family members of wrestling to our program to help for jobs and internships, and is a big reason why our guys are getting jobs in the summer, but have futures ahead as well. So appreciate
stuff. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.